is Joy News Prime.
It's 19 hours GMT. Welcome to Joy News Prime. 2 hours of comprehensive news from your most authoritative news channel, Joy News. You can also find us on the ABN channel 235 in Europe. My name is Asare. Coming up shortly, road transport operators in the country declare nationwide strike beginning next Monday, February 8, against motor insurance increase. The Accra Police Command meets leaders of major political parties in the country to discuss ways to ensure November 7 polls are devoid of violence. Laboratory results of 3 out of the 5 suspected cases of meningitis recorded at the Ridge Hospital in Accra have tested negative, while the only meningococcal type is responding to treatment.
And in business tonight, Finance Ministry dismisses claims of unfair higher duties under the new ECOWAS Common External Tariff System at the ports.
We'll also tell you how the latest pension increment, which took effect from January this year, is changing the life of one of the minimum earners on the scheme. We'll bring you all of these, plus sports, entertainment, your views, and international news within the next 2 hours. Thanks so much for choosing us. In our very first story, road transport operators in the country, which include the Ghana Private Road Transport Union and the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, have declared a nationwide strike beginning next Monday, February 8. The strike is in protest of the increase in motor insurance premium. Hannah Odame has more.
It will be recalled that the Ghana Insurance Association and the Finance Ministry agreed on a 250 to 260% increase in motor insurance premium last year. This was after a proposed 400% increment was rejected by the drivers, who were then paying 150%. At a media briefing today, Chairman of the association, Charles Danso, revealed their one-day strike is to protest a 500% increment, which they describe as bad faith, especially as they were not involved in the new negotiations.
Mr. Moses Asaga, he's in charge of the MPA. He brought all this problem on drivers. You see, go to the foreign markets. The crude is coming down, whilst Ghana is going up. If they don't think about us, we will think of ourselves. We are paying school fees, it's being increased. Utilities, it's being increased. Water, rent, everything is going up. Even the paste that we use is gone up. So how can we live? How can the drivers and the car owners live? Now you say we should pay insurance. We are not going to allow them, my sister.
Mr. Danso also threatened the association will form its own insurance scheme should their request for reduction not yield results.
This strike is to the Insurance Commission, and they will definitely reduce it. If they will not reduce it, we drivers will form our own insurance. That's what we want to tell them. We are going to form our own insurance.
You're sure about that?
I'm very sure.
That's after the day strike on February 8th.
We are going to, madam, we are going to register our own insurance. So that's the signal I'm telling them. We will do it. We are on it. It's like a timing bomb. So they should be aware.
For Joy News, my name is Hannah Odame.
Meanwhile, the 15% transport fares increment that took effect yesterday has caused some rage between some passengers and commercial drivers. Some passengers claim not to know about the increase that's not ready to pay new fares, whilst others argue about the exact amount they have to pay for the 15%.
1 city. From this, 1 city, 20 pesos.
But would you say it's equal to the 15% that you're supposed to charge?
More than 15%.
So why are you charging that?
Because of the transportation, the fuel. That is why. So once you increase the fare, the fuel will be 3 city, 27%. It will be 20%. It's more increase.
So as it stands now, you are charging at 20%, not 50%.
Yeah, 20%, not 15%, 20%.
For increments, how much are you paying to get to Kaneshi?
So Kaneshi is 1 city.
How much are you paying now?
Right now we are paying 140.
140?
Yeah, from here to Kaneshi.
Wow. That's like 40%.
Yeah, it's 120. Sorry. Yeah, 120. Yeah, 20. Yeah. Instead of 1 city.
Yes.
We don't know because there's
50 pesos,
And how much are you being made to pay now?
which is 30 pesos difference.
Currently, how much are you paying?
Was 1 CD 50 pesos, and then now we are paying 1 CD 80 pesos, which is too much.
They
have employed new mechanisms regarding transiting us to our destinations. Now I have to board 3 separate cars before I get to my destination. This is really draining my pockets since I don't make much sales when I go to work.
From here to Kaneshi, it's 1 city, but now it's 1 city 20 pesos. Then from Kaneshi to Kokobite, it was 2.3, but it's not 2.5.
Wow.
Yeah, 2.6. Yeah. Charlie, these days we don't know what is going on. You know, GH now, Muhammad, and they do some problems and things. Now the things can be worse. But for manage, the nation, they be you and I, we go make them better. So we to for stop the illegal movements. Then we help the nation go forward well.
Well, the Committed Drivers Association is laying the blame at the doorstep of the National Petroleum Authority. Charles Danso is the vice chairman of the association.
I'm blaming those who increased the thing without coming out with the face. Finance Ministry and the Insurance Commission. When previously, former PNDC era, when Kwasi Bochi was in charge of finance something, when he's about to increase the fuel, they come out with the fares. For instance, from here to, let's say, Medina, they will just tell you what you have to charge. You see, so that everybody understands it easily and simply. But nowadays, it is not like that. The Petroleum Commission or something, they are those who increase the thing. And so it is never too late. They have to come back again.
With what?
With the figures we are talking about.
Away from the committed drivers, the Accra Police Command has met with leaders of the major political parties in the country to discuss ways to ensure that the November 7 polls are devoid of violence. According to the police, the Tuesday morning meeting is based on the Regional Police Command's continuous stakeholders engagement system, which is one of the many initiatives introduced to break the perceived animosity between the police and political parties.
Delegation led by the Regional Police Command, COP Dr. George Ekufu-Dampari, first visited the Greater Accra Regional Headquarters of the largest opposition party, New Patriotic Party, where they met with the campaign team. COP Dr. George Ekufu, in his address, told the parties the exercise is to ensure transparency, objectivity, responsibility and professionalism on the part of the police and requested the support of the party. He said the doors of the police are open to all political parties to ensure effective communication that will promote peace.
The engagement, like we have said, is not an event. We are making it a continuous process. And we are doing that for purposes of generating what we call early warning police mechanisms. So that at the end of the day, the engagement, because it has become so informal, you are always in a position to place a call to me and tell me some difficulties or some potential law enforcement issue that have come up or is coming up that the police need to be aware, and we'll deal with it before it comes up something. If you also hear something that maybe some of your people, party people, want to do something that would breach or disturb the peace, we'll quickly call you as leaders to call them to order. So that before I realize, a lot of the work that we should do in public will be done in private and secure the peace to the level that everybody will be happy.
In his response, the regional chairman of the New Patriotic Party lauded the police's efforts and assured their cooperation and also urged other regions to toe their line.
I wish other regions we emulate your example that you are showing to all the political parties. building bridges to make sure that we have confidence in you and your people. It shouldn't be a one-day wonder. We have already had 2 meetings. I hope or wish this will continue. More interactions, and even if it becomes necessary, sometimes when we have meetings with our members, we can invite you to send some of your people down to come and also talk to them, so that they can also feel the presence of the police and see them as the partners and not as enemies or people that we will always have to go after or fight.
The delegation made their second stop at the Greater Accra Regional Headquarters of the ruling National Democratic Congress, where the Greater Accra Regional Chairman Adi Koka also pledged the support of the NDC and urged citizens to comply accordingly to ensure peace during the 2016 presidential elections.
And I think it's very laudable that in Ghana today, we are exhibiting that the police and the political parties can together ensure that we have a peaceful election. I mean, there's no need for us to exhibit violence on election day, because like you said, the will of the people must prevail. And the only way that the will of it must prevail is that the political parties must go and sell their messages to the people and allow the people to cast their vote in peace. It is not appropriate for political parties to engage in violence, to engage, let me use the word, macho men, and to steal ballot boxes. Those kind of things does not augur well for democracy. So I think the journey that we've embarked on is very appropriate. And everybody, every well-meaning Democrat should be able to encourage you and support you.
The police will continue the stakeholders' engagement with the rest of the political parties in the region.
Still on security, President John Mahama has handed over some vehicles to security services to enhance their work. Speaking at the handing over, the president urged the recipients to cultivate the culture of maintenance to ensure that the vehicles serve the intended purpose.
The presentation, according to President John Mahama, is to improve mobility of national security agencies. It is also to help them carry out their duties more effectively. Security services that benefited from the presentation include the Bureau of National Investigation, Ghana Prison Service, the Narcotics Control Board, and the National Security Council.
The prison service has traditionally been very starved of vehicles, and there are circumstances in which it has been reported that prisoners have to be sent to court in trotro vehicles or in taxis. I hope that with some of these vehicles they are going to receive, it would reduce that incidence. And so for the Ghana Prison Service, they're receiving 10 Mitsubishi Rosa buses, Nissan Navara, 20 Nissan Navara pickups, and then Nissan Sentra Saloon cars, 7, Nissan Sunny 6, Toyota Camry 7, Toyota Prado for command work 7, and then they'll get 20 Yamaha motorbikes. I think that this infusion of vehicles would be an advantage to the service.
According to President, more vehicles will come in the second phase to beef up the stock of the Ghana Police Service and Ghana National Fire Service.
We face many threats, security threats, and we are in a particularly sensitive year, which is the election year. And so it's necessary for us to ensure that the security agencies are up to the scratch and able to fulfill the mandate that we have given them. Like I said, this is the first phase. We're expecting additional vehicles, and other security agencies will benefit, like the Ghana Armed Forces and also the Ghana Police Service. We're bringing additional vehicles for the Ghana Police Service in order that they can be as mobile as possible. We're also making arrangements for the Ghana National Fire Service to also receive some vehicles so that in this dry Harmattan weather they can continue to safeguard us and prevent fire from consuming and destroying our properties.
President Mahama admonished the recipients to cultivate the culture of maintenance to make the vehicles last.
Maintenance is a key. I mean, vehicles can serve for as long as you want them to serve if you maintain them properly. If it says that every 5,000 kilometers change the oil, please 5,000 kilometers change the oil. You can't drive it for 10,000 kilometers before you change the oil. It will wreck the engine. And so please make sure you keep to the maintenance schedule and you service the vehicles properly. If you service them properly, they will serve you for a very long time so that government doesn't have to replace these vehicles every short while.
President Mahama was also conducted round a new national security installment that monitors activities on some of the major roads in the country.
Meanwhile, the President John Dramani Mahama has appointed Emmanuel Yao Adzato, Deputy Director General of Prisons, as Acting Director General. His appointment follows the retirement of Mrs. Matilda Bafwewa, the Director General of Prisons, on February 1, 2016. Until his appointment as the Acting Director General of Prisons, Mr. Adzato was the Deputy Director General of Prisons in charge of finance and administration of the service. The Acting Director General is a product of Mando Secondary School and holds a degree in psychology from the University of Ghana and has also studied human resource management at the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA, and has attended several capacity training courses, both home and abroad. We'll take a short break on Joy News Prime. We'll be back with more.
What is pneumococcal meningitis? It is an infection that causes swelling and irritation or inflammation of the membranes covering the brain and spinal cord. It is caused by the Streptococcus pneumonia bacteria. Bacteria is spread through coughing and sneezing. It can also be transmitted through kissing or using anything that has come into contact with the mouth of an infected person. Signs and symptoms include severe headache, fever, vomiting, stiff necks, coughs, and chills. How to avoid pneumococcal meningitis? Avoid overcrowding. Drink enough water to prevent dryness of throat. Avoid sharing things that come into contact with the mouth. What after effects can pneumococcal meningitis cause? Brain damage, learning disabilities, and deafness.
Trust Joy News to bring you all you need to know in 2 hours. Now let's get down to the rest of our stories. Pneumococcal meningitis and other strains of meningitis have been reported in the Bono-Ahafo region, Ashanti, Northern, Volta, Eastern and Western regions. 50 people have died from the outbreak so far, with 246 reported cases. Just last week, Accra recorded 5 cases and laboratory results of 3 out of the 5 suspected cases of meningitis recorded at the Ridge Hospital in Accra have tested negative. One of the 5 is confirmed to be the meningococcal type of meningitis, but Acting Medical Director of the Ridge Hospital, Dr. Emmanuel Trofenyo, has told my colleague Matilda Homaga that there is no cause for alarm because the confirmed cases are being treated and will soon be discharged.
Since the outbreak of meningitis in the country last year, December 2015, a lot of concerns have been raised as to what government is doing to contain the disease before it gets out of hands. Out of the 200 suspected cases that has been reported in the country, 50 deaths have been recorded, with Bono-Ahafo region being the hardest hit. Just last week, Accra recorded its first case of meningitis. I'm currently at the Ridge Hospital Hospital, where the 5 cases were reported. Joining us to get a deeper understanding of the current situation is Dr. Emmanuel Sropenyu. He is the acting medical director of the Ridge Hospital, to make us understand what the status is with regards to meningitis in Accra. Just last week, Accra reported its first case of meningitis. Can you take us back as to what are the cases that were reported here and where the cases are coming from?
On Monday last week, we received a case which was deemed suspected case of meningitis. That was Monday. And so, as we always do in medical practice, we start treatment when we suspect that an individual will have a condition. But we also immediately make efforts to confirm the diagnosis as to whether it is indeed meningitis in this case or something else, because several other disease conditions can resemble each other. So we took the samples, and in this case it's lumbar, we call it lumbar puncture, where we take part of the cerebrospinal fluid and send to the laboratory. The result came back after 48 hours. The first one who came on Monday was a young girl, about 15 to 17-year-old girl, who was referred to us from Ashaman Polyclinic. So
this young girl, she's the one coming from Ashaman Polyclinic?
Yes, she was referred from Ashaman Polyclinic.
And her result tested positive for meningitis.
Yes.
So where is she now at the moment?
She's currently on admission. She's still on admission, but I must say that she has responded well to the treatment, and she's currently conscious. She's talking well, communicating well, has no complications.
But what are her chances of survival?
The chances are that she will survive. She's fine, and she will soon be discharged. If not yet, even if not already discharged, then she will soon be discharged, because the plan is to either discharge her today or tomorrow.
Okay, so how about the other 4 cases that were also recorded? What is the current status of those cases as well?
Yes. The other 4 cases, last week, Friday, we were able to send the samples of 3 of them. And as it takes about 48 hours to 72 hours to get the results. Yesterday, Monday, we received the results of those 3 that we sent on Friday.
Okay.
And luckily, all 3 were negative.
Were negative?
Yes. Which means that they did not have meningitis, but they were maybe some other conditions
that were mimicking
meningitis. And that is the point.
Okay, so 5 suspected cases reported at the Ridge Hospital. 1 confirmed meningococcal. 3 negative. 1 confirmed meningococcal meningitis. How about the other one?
The other one, we were able to send his sample yesterday, Monday. So it takes 48 to 22 hours to get the results. So we believe that by tomorrow, we'll get the result and be sure exactly what she was suffering from. I must also say that all those 3 whose samples were sent are all doing well.
They are also doing
well on the treatments that we have put in place for them.
So the other 3, what exactly was wrong with them?
That is the question. You see, so now we are not sure of what they may have suffered from. It could be an ordinary bacterial infection. It could also be a type of malaria, because in order that we don't miss out on anything, for all of them, we treated them both for malaria and also for a possible meningitis, so that as we wait for the result, we don't allow their condition to deteriorate. Whilst you say that you are waiting for a result that will take about 72 hours to come. Because it looked like this is the index case in the Greater Accra region, and it's our prayer that it remains the only case.
The only case. We also. So
yes.
Can you confidently say there is no cause for alarm within Accra?
I think there is no cause for alarm in Accra, but there is cause for concern.
So I've been interacting with the acting medical director of the Ridge Hospital, Dr. Emmanuel Sropenyu. He is telling us there is no cause for alarm, but there is a cause for concern. Why? Because people should start looking out for the early symptoms, which involves headache, onset of fever, neck stiffness. These are the basic signs that you should look out for. And he's also been telling us that the public should avoid overcrowded places, ensure that you have enough ventilation in your room, and take enough water to avoid dryness within your throat. From the Ridge Hospital here in Accra, my name is Matilda Bumaga.
Meanwhile, the health minister is in the Bono Ahafo region to update himself on the fight against meningitis in the region. Correspondent Nestor Kafue-Adjuma has been monitoring this and joins me live via telephone. Good evening, Nestor. What is the latest on the fight against meningitis?
The latest is the Minister of Health has been meeting with the various district directors of health services at Techiman. Originally, he was supposed to come to Brohani, where the meningitis was first recorded, but he had to come from the northern region, so they went straight up to Techiman. We are not yet aware of what they have been talking about, but we pick up information that they are going to talk about how to manage the situation and then to avoid further spread of the disease. But earlier in the morning, calls of members of the Brohani community trooped to Nsoko, the district capital of the Time district, to register for health insurance. This was a move by the MP for the area, Kwesi Ajimanjen, to be able to control the spread of the disease, because about 40% of the population at Brohani are not registered clients of the National Health Insurance. But today, what happened was they were able to write and register names of over 500 people, but only 17 of them had their card because of unstable network. They'll do it, but the network was not stable, so that is what happened today. Meanwhile, a national clinical team has also arrived at Brohani. What they are going to do now is attend to patients, be it pneumococcal meningitis patients or otherwise. They are going to attend to them. They will visit 3 communities. Within 3 days, they will be visiting Fula communities, Nsuhunu community, and they will also be visiting Tarinsu community. So far, this is the latest on the ground.
Nestor Kafue-Adjuma, many thanks for your time on Joy News Prime. News just in, senior staff senior staff of the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital have been able to secure an injunction. My colleague Matilda Homega joins me in the studio now to tell us more about this. What kind of injunction and what is it? What is it going to do?
Okay, so this is an injunction which has been secured at the High Court, the Labour Industrial Division in Accra, and this is a motion or notice for interlocutory injunction. And so the court is restraining the disciplinary committee at Korle-Bu from going ahead to convene a board meeting or any kind to deliberate or decide on recommendations on the matter concerning the senior staff, and also it's also to restrain the defendants and their agents from taking any decision that affects the plaintiff in personal capacities from the purported disciplinary action. Let me give us a background to what exactly has given cause to this. Right. You know, last year Korle-Bu has been there's been a lot of agitation at Korle-Bu with regards to the operation, the management within Korle-Bu, where senior staff raised concern about the chief executive, who they asked that he should step aside due to what they describe as a mismanagement of funds and all that. Exactly. So there's been a back and forth. The minister intervened. The minister intervened, and the senior staff association were invited to the disciplinary committee for actions to be meted out to them, because they, according to management of the hospital, they acted in bad faith and they failed to go through due process. So actually yesterday they were invited to the committee again, but I don't know what exactly transpired at the committee and what decision. It looks
like there was no agreement, and that's why they've gone in for an injunction.
So this injunction is basically barring the management from going ahead to take any disciplinary action against
them. We'll bring you details of this in our subsequent bulletin. We'll take a short break for now, and we'll come back with the business segment. We're back on Joy News Prime. Etanam says here for the business segment. What do we have for business tonight?
Well, Aisha, today we have a range of issues. We have Guta encouraging its members to go ahead and hang red bands, and they are, they are agitating against the high tariff hikes. And then we also have Finance Ministry reacting to concerns about the ECOWAS tariff, saying that importers are not going to be paying more.
It better be so, because we're all in the soup.
I know, Aisha. Why do I keep calling you?
See, I'm a woman.
All right, now, the Finance Ministry has dismissed claims of unfair duties under the ECOWAS Common External Tariff System, which took effect yesterday at the port. The tariff system is to minimize smuggling of certain goods by ensuring equity in import charges across member states. Importers have raised concerns this goal would not be realized unless government reviewed the rates of some items downwards. But speaking to Joy Business, the principal economic officer at the Finance Ministry, Benjamin Ayensu Kwafum, explained the importers got it all wrong.
This is the Common Standard Tariff, Ghana's version. And when we look at it, we have 5,899 commodities making this book. So the ECOWAS is saying that you can never vary your rate beyond 3% of 5,899 commodities in this book. So which means that every country has that kind of feasibility of 177 commodities. Okay, so like I see it will cause some injuries to some sectors of the economy. Every country will look at your impact analysis, and you know that where the CET will negatively affect, will have negative impact, then you have a right to protect those sectors. You understand? So Ghana, we also submitted this to ECOWAS for ratification, and we took some factors into account. One, protection of the local industry, especially the agric. Like the rice is 10% in CET, why it's 20 in Ghana. We needed to protect the agric sector, because can you imagine if now we should reduce the rate from 20% to 10%? You look at the influx of rice, and it will kill local industries. Then we look at now we have outdoor motors. The CET is saying 5%, but we let her know we should still maintain it at 0. And when we look at vehicles, under the CET is 20%. But Ghana said, no, we can't do that. So we still maintain our rate of 5% vehicles. So by all other countries, all the French-speaking countries, they apply 20% as import duty on vehicles. But so Ghana, we did not change any of our rates.
Extensive interview will be aired on the marketplace tomorrow at 1 p.m. on this channel, so don't miss out. Meanwhile, the Finance Ministry has begun the process to get parliamentary approval for the withdrawal of the 1% income tax on personal investments. The ministry last Friday laid the bill before the House for the necessary consideration after the minority threatened to move for the Finance Minister's impeachment if government failed to come to Parliament over the suspension. The 1% tax on investments, which took effect from 1st January this year, was however suspended after some public outcry. Away from that, traders in the country are to display red bands in front of their shops in the coming weeks. This is part of attempts by the Ghana Union of Traders Association to agitate against the excessive taxes they've been made to pay. The union, at a press conference today, complained that taxes such as the 17.5% import VAT and the 2% special tax on imports, among others, are crippling their businesses. George Ofori is the president of Guta.
If your profit had been taken away by the excessive taxes and it had hit your capital, I don't think you have to still sit down, because at the end of the day, if the business collapses, it is you, the individual, who is going to suffer, and not the government. And so, as for government, if you allow him to come out with those taxes, well, he is prepared. But it is with the citizenry who have to also protest at a point in time, and then make sure that at least our businesses also survive. Because we can't live in a country where survival of the fittest should be the system or the regime in the country. Once we are doing business, serving the mass consumers in the country, we believe strongly that we also need government support. Because if you go to other countries they are getting government support. China, for instance, are coming to this country through their government support. So if we are trying to manage, if we are trying to access facilities like loans and others, and are trying to make an impact on our businesses, if the government is not supporting us, I don't see why he should bring out excessive taxes to kill our businesses.
Ghana's bid to preserve and grow its forest resources may soon receive a boost from some investors from Finland. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Ni Osamils, today met the visiting business delegation from Finland who are in the country to explore investment opportunities. Ghana's forest cover has been declining at an alarming rate, affecting the country's foreign exchange earnings from timber. But speaking with Joy Business after the meeting, Ni Osamils was optimistic of a turnaround soon.
At the turn of the century, we had 8.2 million hectares of forest cover. Currently, we have only 4.6 million hectares of forest cover. We've lost a lot of forest cover. Many efforts are being made to grow the forest back, but the challenge constantly and the push factor constantly has been illegal mining activities, chainsaw operators, slash and burn forests of the forest for those who want to do maybe farming and so on, and then forest fires, wildfires in the forest. These sorts of things have been controlled in other countries. We can learn to do it. So such meetings help Ghana to know that there's a lot we can learn. Within 15 years, Uruguay, a small country in Latin America, went from zero forests to be able to obtain billions of dollars worth of revenue from this forest that it created within 15 years. We should ask ourselves in Ghana whether we can do a lot more. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. So for me personally, we're going to learn a lot from this visit, and then it's also this, including the fact that there's mining in Finland. They do coal mining in the far north of Finland. We have gold mining, we have diamonds, etc.
Over 9,000 farmers in the northern region are getting support to farm on a large scale. John Deere Financing, a machinery financing firm in partnership with Piaba Savings and Loans Company, is giving farmers all they require, including tractors, access to credit, as well as training opportunities. The partnership, according to Managing Director of John Deere Financing, is expected to assist farmers to produce more to meet local demand. Agriculture has a central role to play in promoting growth and poverty reduction in the Ghanaian economy. The challenges of farmers in the sector are, however, enormous. Insufficient credit support to the farmer, high lending rates by commercial banks for the agricultural sector, problems with the marketing of agricultural produce, the dependence on rain for crop production, access to fertilizer, machinery, among others. John Deere Financing, a machinery financing firm in partnership with Piaba Savings and Loans Company, is therefore supporting over 9,000 farmers in the northern region to acquire the necessary machinery and credit to farm on a large scale. Managing Director of John Deere Financing tells Joy Business the aim of the project is to contribute to the growth of the economy.
I think the important thing is the motto of John Deere is we committed to the people that's linked to the land. So we don't believe that we just provide a tractor or piece of equipment to people. We make a difference to lives. So by making a difference to lives, to the people of farmers in Ghana, we make a difference to the whole Ghana, and we can help Ghana to prosper. And from the stats that we heard, 60% of the people contributing to 20% of the income of Ghana. We want to change that. We want to improve that. We want that to be a higher figure. And by doing that, you create jobs, you create food security, and you actually make the country prosper.
Time to go to the stock and commodity market, and John just joined me. Hello, John.
Hi, Tom.
How's the market today?
As always, it's been good, bad, but yesterday and today hasn't been that well, because today we only saw two. That's exactly a bearish situation we are going to actually witness today. The market hasn't been that good, but in terms of volumes and values, I think it's been quite well, which we'll be looking at as well. And still, cocoa keeps losing over the period as crude also stepped down a bit on it. I mean, prices was it yesterday and last week? So basically, that's how it is. The market today almost increased in terms of volume by about 1,213,000 at a total value of 928, meaning that some lower caps actually traded today. Only SIC and Carl traded. Basically, moved the market. SIC
and Carl
gained
actually lost.
Carl lost 5 pesos. So anybody with some investment in Carl today will be going home without 5 pesos. That's basically what it is.
What's happening to my Benzo oil pump plantation?
Benzo actually lost in action today, but I'm sure hopefully by the end of the week, Benzo will come up to the party. So crude oil lost $1.80 to close at 33.19 cents. Basically, it's been on and off. That's how come some analysts and some economists and some oil experts are saying it's early days here. We should not be jubilating as in when we see oil prices go down until it crosses the $50 per barrel mark. Okay, so a lot of oil exporting countries are crying. Gold gained somehow, but cocoa lost. Cocoa lost basically. And then on the currency market, today you should expect to get $1 at 3 cedis, 83 pesos.
Still around the 83 pesos.
Around that mark, still losing to the US dollar and then the Chinese yuan. But it is something.
When are we expecting the IMF funds to come in?
The tranche, I think the third is already in.
But we are not seeing the impact.
How much is that? The volume is huge, and there's very little that particular amount of money can do because we've been receiving that for quite some time now. So I think there's very little it can do. So the market being bearish, but that's
how it's been.
We hope to see it again.
I agree. I'm hopeful too, John. Thank you very much, and that's our wrap up with business. My name is Eton Amsim. Many thanks for your time.
This is Joy News Prime. Welcome back to the news and now to the rest of our stories. The Italian Prime Minister says dialogue and democracy interwoven with rich cultural practices and the defense of individual rights are the antidote to terrorism. He said values of compassion, inclusion and unity should be upheld in every society as measure to dissuade people from engaging in terrorism. Prime Minister Renzi stated this when he addressed Ghana's parliament on Tuesday.
High on the agenda of the Italian Prime Minister, Matteo Renzi, is giving opportunities to Ghanaian youth, which is perhaps unsurprising given the migrant crisis that the EU is currently facing. Prime Minister said if countries like Ghana have strong career foundations and improved prospects for the youth, the problem of illegal migration could be significantly reduced.
Must invest with more determination in culture and education. This concretely means a big attention about universitarian students, exchange between people, and also concrete possibilities to create opportunities of jobs maybe after a period of training in Europe. So if there is the possibility to invest in agro-sector business, for example, Ghana and Italy could work together with more determination than the past. We are ready.
He said Ghana should be proud of being a benchmark of democracy in Africa and the world. Prime Minister Renzi also touched on the dangerous migration of citizens from Africa to Europe in search of greener pastures. He said the Italian government values human dignity, hence its continued rescue of immigrants on the sea. Meanwhile, members of parliament say that a message of greater cooperation, especially to improve job creation and agribusiness, is a very welcomed move. Many of them believe Ghana will be the ultimate beneficiary from any such relation.
I got a sense that they were here to promote agribusiness, which is very good because our economy is not expanding, agriculture is underperforming, and I believe any opportunity to help boost the agricultural sector of this country ought to be encouraged. Agro-processing and getting the right incentives for farmers and those engaged in agricultural business must be given the needed boost by every government. And secondly, I heard him talk about the ENI transaction. I know that the ENI is making an application for another well or a discovery, which is very huge, which he did not disclose, but some of us do know that there's been a huge discovery, and they are in negotiations with government for government to release that block to them. Once it goes through the right legal processes, nobody will have a problem with it.
It is very encouraging to know that the Prime Minister of Italy would be supporting private companies in Italy to come and invest in agriculture, particularly the downstream industries like agro-processing, transportation, haulage, and all that. And specifically when he talks about SMEs, the small, medium enterprises in Italy coming to partner Ghanaian small, medium enterprise companies in this country. I think if it happens, it will really help us.
Mr. Renzi has since left for home.
Away from Parliament, the level of preparedness of the Electoral Commission towards the 2016 election is being questioned by some opposition political parties. This year's election, unlike previous ones, will be conducted on November 7. With less than 9 months to go, Executive Director of the Institute of Economic Affairs, Jane Mensah, has criticized the EC for not doing much, particularly with voter sensitization.
There's so much work to be done. I know the EC has put out its timetable, but I'm not hearing of voter education. The dialogue seems to be amongst the political leadership, those who are in charge of managing and running the elections. The EC has a program. I'm not sure whether it is collaborating with the NCC to raise awareness about the election, to start engaging in voter education. We only have about 8 months to the election, and I'm not sure that we are putting ourselves in place to have a successful election. I think that more needs to be done. A lot of sensitization needs to be done from the EC and the NCC as well. So I hope that, we've just started the year, but I'm sure that in the course of the year or in the course of this quarter, some activities will be put out to give comfort to us, the ordinary citizens of this country.
In reaction to this, Deputy General Secretary of the ruling NDC, George Lawson, has lashed out at Mrs. Mensah. Mr. Lawson, in an interview with Joy News, charged the Executive Director of the think tank to provide evidence to support her claim. Mr. Lawson says operations of the Commission is within schedule and expect the EC to organize a successful election come November 7.
I deduce from what she said as if they are not doing anything. I beg to differ. They are doing something. But she didn't say enough. She said as if they are not doing nothing at all. And I beg to differ.
We have, limited registration coming up. Exhibition of the album has to be done. Transfer of votes. All these have to be done, concluded before we move into the elections.
Certainly.
Looking at the time that we have, the space is a bit limited. That is why she is raising this concern.
Yeah, her concern was as if they're not doing anything. If she says they're not doing enough. But the fathers, as stakeholders, we need to complement the efforts of the Electoral Commission. We as a political party are doing that. We are sensitizing, educating our members. You saw what we did during the primaries. It was one of it. And again, what I disagree is as if people do not know that there will be an election or there will be a general election. There will be general elections this year, and that is very, very wrong. So why did we conduct the primaries, presidential and parliamentary? Why is the other political parties? Why did they also conduct primaries, both presidential and parliamentary? It is gearing towards the general elections in November. So if they are saying, I say people Ghanaians, I beg to differ. Ghanaians are well. They are very discerning. Eh? The well-meaning Ghanaians know that this year is an election year.
We're still live on Joy News Prime. We'll be back shortly with the international segment. And this is Joy News Prime. The moment you've been waiting for will soon come because Ifwa Akwa Harrison is here with her nice look.
Hello, Aisha. Good evening.
Good evening,
How
Ifwa.
are you doing?
I'm good. What are we interacting about this evening?
Coming up, passengers are feeling the pinch of transport hikes as the fares have now been increased across board and in most cases more than the indicated 15%.
One CD 50 pesos, and then now we are paying one CD 80 pesos, which is too much.
And what you write on Facebook can land you in jail. We talk about the university student who has been prosecuted for threatening the new American ambassador to Ghana. Then our viewer report today comes from Bobby Elikem in the Karachi in Chumuru district of the Volta region. We'll show you that video in the interactive segment in the next hour with me, Ifwa Akwa Harrison. Please stay. Aisha, back to you.
Well, so Ifwa Akwa Harrison will be back before you know with the interactive segment. February 8 against motor insurance increase. The Accra Police Command meets leaders of major political parties in the country to discuss ways to ensure November 7 polls are devoid of violence. Laboratory results of 3 out of the 5 suspected cases of meningitis recorded at the Ridge Hospital in Accra have tested negative, while the only meningococcal type is responding to treatment. In business, Finance Ministry dismisses claims of unfair higher duties under the new ECOWAS Common External Tariff System at the ports. Many more of the stories coming up. Now, Municipal Chief Executive for WA has warned health officials, especially nurses, not to abandon patients for political campaigns. According to him, some nurses in the municipality are fond of abandoning their patients and hop onto campaign wagons. Isahaku Nuhu has therefore asked them to put a stop to the practice or face his wrath. The WA MCE was speaking at the 2015 annual review meeting of the WA Municipal Health Directorate. Rafiq Salam has filed this report.
The 2-day annual review meeting of the WA Municipal Health Directorate is held on the theme Improving Maternal and Child Health, the role of stakeholders. Municipal Chief Executive for WA, Isakunu Potia, thanked health personnel in the municipality for their commitment and sacrifice to work during the year under review despite the challenges. He was, however, not happy about the unprofessional conduct of some nurses in the municipality who abandon patients at clinics and hospitals to join political campaigns.
Staff indiscipline, to me, is one of the major issues. It's critical. I hear from Grapevine that some of you even jump into campaign trail. The political parties have come to do their rallies, and you are there. Should I mention names?
Yes. Chairman of the Sub-Management Committee of Health at the WA Municipal Health Directorate, Mahmoud Yahya Basiruddin Kutiye, also echoed the views of the WA Municipal Chief Executive, saying the behavior of some midwives at the Upper West Regional Hospital is turning most pregnant women away.
Your municipal hospital, the waiting time there for clients is unacceptable. That is making people from your community, your municipality, to travel all the way to Nadoli for health services. This cannot be done at the regional hospital. When people should be coming from Nadoli and other districts to the regional capital, we are moving from here to Nadoli for services. And then finally, when we are talking with them, let them know that the attitude of staff at the maternity ward of the regional hospital is uncalled for and ungovernable. Our people will not want to go to regional hospital and deliver because of the way they are handled.
The 2015 review saw the WA municipality recording a decline in stillbirths, significant decrease in home deliveries as more facilities are equipped to offer skilled delivery services. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
And here in Accra, my name is Aisha Ibrahim. Now, at the beginning of the year, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust announced increments in the pensions paid to retirees. The announcement left many pensioners hopeful because that may cushion them to adjust to the increase in economic hardship. But what difference does the percentage added to the pensions make in the lives of the minimum earners? In the following report, news editor Martha Krenzel-Akwa finds out the impact of the increment on a pensioner with responsibilities.
On January 4, 2016, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, increased monthly pension payment by 20% effective January 2016. According to the Corporate Affairs Manager Evangelina Megashi, latest increment means the minimum wage for current pensioners will increase to 296.89 from 230 Ghana cedis.
Every pensioner is going to get 39 cedis, 29 pesos, 39 Ghana cedis, 29 pesos. Every pensioner is going to get, in addition to 12% of whatever the pensioner was earning as at December 2015. Okay. So it's been broken.
39 is flat.
It's flat. 39 cedis, 29. It's flat to everybody.
Okay.
In addition to that, they're going to add 12% of whatever you were earning in December 2015 to it.
Okay.
And the highest pension earner earns 26,000 Ghana cedis as at December. And the minimum was 230 Ghana cedis. But I think it is instructive to note that pension payment is based on your earnings.
According to SNIT, the increase was in accordance to Section 80 of the National Pensions Act 2008, Act 766. This prompted me to ask how this increment will impact on one of the lowest earners of the SNIT pension scheme. Victoria Konai is a 64-year-old pensioner. She retired in February 2012 as a cleaner at the ministries. It's 4 a.m. She's already awake because she is used to this routine. For almost 30 years as a cleaner, Victoria went to work at dawn. But today, she is only getting her grandchildren ready for school.
In last, paying about 2.5.
Oh, okay.
2.5. Every month, take a Kenya. Every time I'm in Naya TV and marketing. Every year, I'm a bangman. Every year, but
at the time she retired, Victoria was earning 250 Ghana cedis. She explained that when she received her lump sum at the end of her service, she considered distributing the money to her 4 children as capital for their businesses, but later changed her mind. She concedes her monthly pension is not enough, especially since she is taking care of 5 of her grandchildren. The announcement from SNIT was good news.
How would you feel as a pensioner, looking at how much money you get and then keeping it till the end of the month? How would you feel? Just imagine I can come on low a Tunisi day pension
But it turns out she needs more. She revealed that until November 2015, she operated a local eatery to supplement her budget.
when feel near him feel she get in a while I say him went ban I won't near Maya the one making back Hilani in your baby I've been a diabetes oh we Ben Maya a basketball in Bellow baby okay Bellow baby she come Ben Maya about a minute born when I owe them with you.
For now, she has needs that must be met, but her monthly pension cannot do that. Her only hope is the support from her children as she looks forward to brighter days ahead. Martha Quinsolakwa, Joy News, Accra.
We'll take a breather on Joy News Prime. We'll be back with the entertainment segment.
Entertainment news is brought to you.
This is Joy News Prime, and one of your moments, the moment you've been waiting for is here, the entertainment segment, and Gladys Oredo says here. Yeah. Hi, Gladys.
In the first place, you made entertainment out of my name. It's Gladys Osei Asare.
Interesting. So what are we entertaining about? I know about some Shattered.
Yes, you know Shatta is out with his movie, and he premiered this over the weekend. And so the one interesting thing that really happened during the premiere, you know, it was simultaneous premiering, one at Weja Mall and then one at the Accra Mall. Okay. And it happened that Bulldog, his former manager, was at the Accra Mall session
to watch the premiere.
To watch the premiere. So the question people are asking is, was he really there to support his former artist, or is it a way of, you know, working his way back into his life, or does he miss him?
What's the name of this movie?
Shattered Life.
Shattered Life.
Yes.
By Shatta Wale.
By Shatta Wale. And Bulldog was there. But of course, we can share, we caught up with Shatta Wale during the premiere. Right. He was at the major Weja Mall branch, and he spoke a bit about a few issues about the movie and what we should really look forward to. So, yes, but that aside,
what really motivated him to write such a
okay, you know, Shatta has a dream of actually
movie.
setting up a TV station.
Okay.
He says on that channel it's going to be everything Shatta Wale. So he's going to serve his fans and of course our potential fans of Shatta Wale
with movies and music and all of that.
See a lot more of Kakai and Oya Chopkis, baby kind of.
I'm just hoping there won't be any news program where Shatta himself will come and sit and start reading the news.
Kind of a shattered news where everything's shattered.
That would be interesting.
Very, very. And you know, he says better with controversy. So I mean, there'll be a bit more of that on the TV news. But of course, you also know that there's this back and forth dragon with VGMAs and artists, you know, coming up to also allege that they have been asked before to pay a bribe to be able to get nominated for one category or the other. Yes, and we have this guy, Screwface, who well,
I enjoy his music.
You do enjoy his music. Which song do you know from him?
Aduko no baby.
Of course,
I love that one.
You love that tune. Okay, so he says that he was once asked to pay bribe to be nominated for the unsung category. And
I think he deserves it.
That is years ago, and because he did not pay that bribe, it was Kenai Shuba who was nominated for that. Well, George Quay actually says that whoever wants to pick on VGMA should come through him. In any case, he's the first stop when you're talking about VGMA. So he's been reacting.
So if you don't pass through him, it means that
you're not getting there.
You're going to lose something.
He actually calls Screwface a former artist. Well, we can listen to George Quay, you know, venting his frustration about Screwface's comments.
Pays over 500 people every year. Now, if somebody comes and launches a malignant, malicious, atrocious, and very, very, very bad attack on that brand, the brand that I use, feed myself and my family and other dependents, come at it so abrasively. And especially when what you're saying, you know in your heart of hearts that it's a lie. Even the good Lord who gave me the breath of life would not forgive me for keeping quiet. And that I'll come at you with every little piece of vein in me.
All right. right, so that is what the show is actually saying.
I don't want my viewers to know what we're talking about backstage.
Yeah.
But there's this trending video.
Nana Oye
showing in jumpsuit.
Not just that, but she was saying kakai.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm sure you can't wait to watch. Let's just get to see Nana Oye doing the kakai. So, I mean, you see that, and that was actually her 50th birthday bash in December. But the video, yes, the video is trending now.
Wow!
Yeah, that's the
way. My eyes.
Yes, exactly. So, Nana Oye doing in the jumpsuit, I mean, it's a whole experience. You know, it doesn't just take any ordinary person to be boldly wearing.
She's looking so sleek.
She is.
At age 50?
At age 50.
Oh, I think she's done so well for her weight.
She has.
She's done so well.
And I love the way she was singing Kakai herself. She was performing that actually with her backing dancers.
At 50. Oh, that makes me believe that old age is just a club. If you want to join, then you join.
Well. See how you're enjoying yourself.
My goodness! Wow!
Yeah, so
she had the blast.
She did. At 50, and she can dance that.
And see how sleek she's looking. I'm so happy for her weight. She's been able to manage it. That's very good.
It's so appropriate for her ministry also, women and gender.
And she's wearing a jumpsuit.
And encouraging. Yeah. Okay, so now there's also another controversy brewing in the movie industry. Now, Leila Jansi, movie producer, Ghanaian movie producer based in the Hollywood, actually has come out to make certain utterances. And well, let's listen to Leila Jansi actually making those utterances. And when we come back, I'll tell you who has been bashing her online.
She seems to be very passionate about what she's saying.
I think for whatever is making her feel that passionate, Leila Jansi, probably didn't do a good research and spoke her mind too clearly. She's entitled to her opinion, but perhaps she should have done a bit more research.
I'm sure she stepped on a lot of toes, and you could tell from the way the masses is talking.
Well, let's talk about our own sex doctor, Medase. Kumama Mazimbi, yes. She's doing so well. Her sex education is really catching on. Her sex therapy is really catching on. And well, let me just do this small thing for her. So if you want to catch up with the Kuma, I'm sure she's coming back on air on the 4th of February with her show. Her show is always 11 p.m. on Adom TV. Okay, so she's been nominated for a UK award. She's going for the International Humanitarian of the Year award organized by the UK International Organization Women for Africa. And so I'm sure when you get on the website, it's good to go vote for her. So
that's good
at
news.
Least she comes back home with the award. So you see more of Meda.
On that note, vote for her.
Yes, she must come home
on that Akuma note.
On that Akuma note.
Thanks so much, Gladys, for bringing us the entertainment news. We'll be back with more.
Entertainment news was brought to you
It's time for sports, and Gary Smith brings you the very latest from the world of sports. Gary, I hear about some 2015-2016 fixtures released. So what are we talking about?
Yes, but the Ghana Premier League fixtures have been released. So we already know that the 20th is when all the teams will start playing, but we're waiting for the matches to be given, and today the GFA has released the list, so that's our top story.
Okay, so let's see what the list is.
Okay, all right, thank you for joining us on Sports on Prime. Hello, I'm Gary Smith, and like I said, the Ghana Football Association has finally released the Premier League fixtures for the 2015-16 top flight season. Now, we do know that it's going to be an interesting time because Asante Kotoko, Heart of Oak, and especially Mediama have some very tough games ahead of them. Let's check out the story on My Joy Online now. It's our top story, and as you can see, on match day 1, we do have Dwarfs playing Dreams FC, Bechem versus Liberty Professionals, and also Inter Allies versus Adriana Stars, Techman City versus Chelsea, and Wafa versus Kotoko. Match day 2, one of the big games will be in Kumasi, where Asante Kotoko will be playing Ashgold, the defending champions. Chelsea will be playing Wafa. And we also have Mediama versus Heart of Oak in Takwa. Match day 3, we'll see the game of the weekend between probably in Kumasi, Kotoko versus Mediama, and Obuasi, Ashgold versus Chelsea as well. So as you can tell, it's going to be pretty interesting for Mediama. The first 3 matches, very, very difficult games indeed. So you can see that story on myjoyonline.com/sports. One of the teams in the Ghana Premier League will be looking to make some good money. I'm talking about Heart of Oak. Now, according to them, gate proceeds remain the primary source of income for the club. As you may know, Heart of Oak are one of the sites that a lot of experts have wanted to see supplementary sources of income, such as ticketing, such as selling of replica jerseys and so on and so forth, to be able to augment the gate proceeds. However, Thomas Esso, board member of Heart of Oak, tells Joy Sports that the status quo remains.
Tell you that now a lot of the funds that we get to administer the club come from the board chairman. I mean, the board always pass a resolution to get some funding from the board chairman, which we've been doing. So a lot of those monies come from him now. But let me tell fans of Accra House of Oak, in fact, Accra House of Oak is the most supported club in Ghana. I keep on saying that 9 out of the 10 regions in Ghana, majority of football fans in these 9 out of the 10 regions in Ghana are fans of Accra House of Oak. I mean, except Ashanti region, where you find that Kumasi, Asante Kotoko dominate. But even in Ashanti region, our support base in Ashanti region is very strong. Because as I've followed football for all this while, you can have about 20-25 buses from Ashanti region to Accra Sports Stadium to watch matches. So I want to employ all the fans of Accra House of Oak that the primary source of income for every club in this whole wide world is gate proceed. That is the primary source of income. And therefore, when you talk about sponsorship, yes, sponsorship is good, but gate proceed is the most important one for every club. Because the thing is this, if you don't even have the fans trooping to the stadium, what is the money that you are going to sell to the sponsor who wants to come and sponsor you? Because you need the people there to come and watch the game, feel the game, and then the brand that is partnering with you will also have the joy that they are partnering you. So,
Thomas Esso is a board member of Hearts of Oak. Not exactly true, and at a later date we might have that argument, but unfortunately what he is saying that, gate proceeds are the highest or the most important source of money for clubs is not true. You have to only ask Real Madrid and Manchester United and others. Anyway, speaking of which, in the Barclays Premier League, Leicester have kept hold of their stars at the end of the transfer season. A lot of people felt that with the way the Foxes have been doing well so far in the Barclays Premier League, it will be pretty difficult to keep hold of some of the best players they have, such as Jamie Vardy and Riyad Mahrez. But at the end of the window yesterday, they have kept the big boys in the team.